Welcome to the Basketball Wheels podcast, where we find out a little bit more about what goes on in the Basketball Wheels community. Croeso y pod pel basged, I'm John Bunyan, and today we are joined by some of the Welsh women's national team who are based at Cardiff Met Archers.
Today we have three of the Cardiff Archers ladies team. All the ladies have played or are currently playing WBBL and also have played for the Senior Wales women's team. So really want to get into that today. But before we do, I want to talk about a whole host of other things from lockdown, club basketball, role models, and how you guys got into basketball. So I'd like to introduce the players. I have Sarah Wagstaff, Beth Jones, and Laura Shanahan, better known as Jeffy. Can we start with that, Jeffy? Morning, ladies, first of all. How are you all?
Morning. Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you all. Laura, tell us about the Jeffy thing. How did that come about? Who gave you that nickname?
It was years ago, so probably when I was about 13 or 14. There was about 3 or 4 Lauras on my first basketball team. And my two good friends on the team at the time were Beth and Steph. And one day they were just like, Beth, Steph, Jeff. And I was like, yeah, going along with it. And then they got my t-shirt printed with Jeff on the back, and it's stuck ever since. So now it's Jeffy, Jeffrey, any variation of Jeff, really. Okay. Nobody really calls me by Laura anymore.
Good. Okay, thanks for clearing that one up.
No problem.
Okay, cool. Let's start with lockdown, guys. Been a bit of a strange time. How have you all been managing and coping? I know you guys down at the Archers are slightly different in your class as elite, so you've been managing to do stuff. But how's lockdown been, Sarah?
Yeah, I think it's been good for us. We're so fortunate. We're lucky that we can still compete and train with contacts. But we did have to have a 2-week break in the recent lockdown. And I think what's great about the club and what we're doing is that we all stay connected. So tons of Zoom calls and opportunities for us to still just get online and work out together. So that's been really supportive and helpful. As much as, sometimes they're quite difficult and you just want to be running up and down the court. I think that, nothing beats seeing your teammates like on the screen as well. When you're already at home, kind of can't go out anywhere, can't interact. The Zoom calls and the workouts there have been brilliant for us, really. Good. Really supportive. People at Cardiff Met, like the S&C programming and stuff, have stayed connected with us the whole time. So that's been good.
Fab. Beth, I know you're involved with the junior program and you've been doing some online stuff as well. How's that been going with the kids?
Yeah, that's been really good, actually. It's been nice to just get all the kids together over Zoom. I think after 6-8 weeks, it does get quite tough to vary what we're doing. But yeah, it's been good.
Good. What about you, Jeffy? I know you're sort of probably classed as one of the fitter players at the Archers. How have you been managing to keep yourself motivated?
Same as Sarah, really. So obviously the online workouts, the S&C programs. But during the first lockdown, I really got into running. So just getting out of the house and running every day, pretty much. And it's good to just clear your head and know that there's an end goal in sight this time. So it's great to get back on the floor this week. Just stay motivated, stay with your teammates. It was okay.
Good, cool. Okay, obviously we've got the season ahead, WBBL and WNBL. So I know you've got various roles within those teams. What's your aspirations this year? When we get up and running, what do you think you're going to achieve this year? Let's go back to you, Sarah.
I think we've not for the last few years been top end of the table with WBBL, but we always aspire to just be competitive and to prove that we deserve like a spot in that league. And I think that doesn't always equate to winning games, but I think the big aspiration for us is to be really competitive and enjoy our basketball. And I think that the start of pre-season this year and how we've gelled as a team, I feel like we're in such a stronger position than we were last season. So just desperate to get back on the court and actually play. And we've had some really nice prep games where we're really gelling and playing well off each other. So I think our aspirations are to be competitive. I think the cup situation will be really interesting because I think we're quite fortunate with the draw that we've got and teams are playing against. And with the new additions that we've got, Shannon is fantastic. Everyone loves Shannon. And I think she's really going to add value to our team. But also, having Mara back in the mix, because I feel like we didn't see from Mara last year because she was out injured for a bit. And with Robin back and then our usual core, I think, I'm excited for how it will pan out.
Great. Staying with WBBL, Jeffy, who's your main rivals this year? Who are the teams to look out for, and maybe some of the players we should be looking out for in other teams?
I think it's difficult now. Seeing the signings is everyone's getting better. It's getting more competitive year on year. And no weekends and off weekends, you're always going to have a tough game. And to echo what Sarah said, it's just for us to be competitive and just to prepare as well as we can and just to be competitive as a core. And going back to what Sarah said as well, it's good that we've got a core now going back 3-4 years. And this pre-season has been good anyway. See everyone clicking now, and we've been together for so long. And the new additions like Shannon has come in straight away and made a difference. So it'll be exciting this year to go against everyone.
Yeah, good. There's no easy games, is there?
No, not at all.
Beth, coming on to you, I know that you're going to be involved in WNBL this year. How are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. I think I played Div 2 a few years ago, so I think the jump up from Div 2 to Div 1 will be completely different for me. I think it's really good for our team to now have a good competitive league to compete in. Because obviously last year looked like it was slightly easier. This year is going to be really, really good for the team. I think you'll see a very big difference in our team, and we're going to get challenged and hopefully just progress as one team now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I've been watching some of the other teams playing. There's some good teams out there, isn't it? You know, Loughborough, Solent. They've been looking pretty good. So it's not an easy season ahead, is it? It's going to be competitive, but really interesting to see how you guys get on, both WBBL and WNBL this year. So good luck with that. Let's get into some of the personal stuff then. You know, I want to know about how you guys got into basketball. Where did it all start for you? Who were your role models? Who influenced you to sort of get into the game and stay in the game? So back to you, Sarah.
Yeah, so I started out as probably most females in the UK playing netball in my primary school. It was when I moved to secondary that I was so fortunate to have a PE teacher, Tara Allen, who played basketball herself, and along with Steve Morritt, that they were my role models for sure and still are. And I'm so grateful for them, because if they hadn't have introduced me to basketball and made me have such a positive experience, I don't think I'd be where I am now. So for sure, like those two were amazing for me, and felt like I really was privileged in my secondary school experience. And then Tara was the one that encouraged me to play kind of National League. I had no idea what it was back then, but my dad would take me, an hour to get to Hockley to go and play at Southend Swifts, and the head coach there was Steve Pearl, and I owe him a great deal because he was amazing for me. Like, he just cared so much about me and playing, and would do anything to make sure that it was feasible for me to play. And I remember now looking back, I was playing junior National League, but then also I played for the Division 2 women's side at the time. And I think he just made me feel confident, made me feel so good about playing, and I loved playing. And even though, I look back now and the training sessions were once a week on a Thursday, where they were the same pretty much every week and would run so much, I could score layups back then, so that was pretty helpful. But yeah, I'd say that they're my biggest role models, really. And then obviously coming to Cardiff Met, and I've been there since 2004. Without a doubt, Damien is just one of my best friends now, as well as being somebody who, just inspired me so much and just taught me so much about myself, but also about work ethic. And yeah, he's so passionate about basketball, and Damien's huge for me.
Great. Thanks, Sarah. And you're still wearing those netball shoes as well, aren't you?
Not this year.
Jeffy, help me out.
Thanks, Sarah. What about you, Beth? Where did it all start for you?
So mine's slightly different. Mine wasn't the typical netball into basketball. I think one day I was playing football with the group of guys that live in my area, and they all just disappeared. They'd all been invited to a basketball session that they were starting in our local area. And I got a little bit jealous, so I tagged along just to see what was going on, and I was refused to participate. So I threw my little tantrum, and I was allowed to train for one session to see if I could hold my own against the boys. And then it just continued from there. I was allowed to continue training, and then we moved to a bigger club. So I went from Llangolch Dragons, which was our local area, into Celts, which is still going now. I think there's different people running it. And then I think under 16s, I got invited to play for Wales. So I had a trial for Wales, and that's where basketball really started. The area that I'm in, there's no real basketball going on. You have to travel quite far to get to any basketball games. So I joined Cheshire Panthers, which is now Cheshire Phoenix, and played National League for them, under 18s, and then moved to Cardiff to then continue playing basketball for Met. So I think it pretty much started with the Wales trial, where basketball really properly started, that I got invited to then play National League.
What about role models, Beth? Who were people that sort of influenced you?
So this is a really tough one for me. So I don't think I really looked for one specific person. It's kind of like, if I want to do something, I will have a go. So I think the jealousy part when I was younger obviously introduced me to the sport, and then just seeing that the boys had the opportunity to play our local games and there was no females that were playing either, then encouraged me to go elsewhere and try and play basketball. Okay. But yeah, it's a tough one for me on role models.
Sounds like the boys had a big part to play in your development there, yeah. And the green-eyed monster, yeah. Great, interesting story, thanks. What about you, Jeffy?
Mine's similar to Sarah, really. So in my secondary school, I was lucky to have a PE teacher that actually played for Wales back when she was younger. So she was Jan Robinson, and she made a girls' team for us when I was in year 7, year 8, I think. And then she arranged games against boys' teams in Cardiff because there were no other girls' teams. So that's when I started. And then I remember, just thinking back when Beth was talking then, I remember being sat in the living room holding a basketball, and Ruth Murphy phoned my mum and said, we want Laura to come. I think we had, it was a Cardiff youth exchange with Nantes in France. We want Laura to come and play. And that was my first proper competitive basketball experience. So 6 of us went out to Nantes with Ruth. And then from that, I think the RAF finals were happening in Wales. And then that's when I started playing for Cardiff City, or Cardiff Celts back then, or Cardiff Clippers, I think, at the time. And that was Tony Hinchy. So played with them nationally for a couple of years and played against Sarah, I think, when you were at Swifts.
I remember Jeffy. I felt like she was
a little baby.
Yeah, you were.
And then it just started from there, and then went to university to play, and then just played ever since.
Brilliant. Okay. I think it's really important, and this is something I want to get into now, is, young girls coming through, and it's quite a lot at the moment, but up and down Wales, how do we influence them? How do we get them, passionate about basketball, and how do we keep them in the sport? So it's interesting to hear your stories and how you got involved in this different journeys. How do you think, and this applies, and it'd be interesting to hear what Beth thinks as well, because basketball in North Wales is a little bit different to South Wales as well, certainly for girls. How do we encourage girls to get into the sport? We talked about netball and converting some of those girls. But what's your thoughts on it, guys? Beth, you start. Let me know what you think, especially with regards to North Wales, and how do we develop the game there?
Yeah, so there's a very big difference. I think now, even still, there's very few female. Getting bigger, but it's nowhere near anything in the south. I think clubs in North Wales are really trying to push for the female side of basketball. But I do think maybe that the school approach is our way forward in North Wales. So targeting the primary schools and the high schools, trying to get them just involved in basketball during their PE lessons, hopefully then might encourage them to join our local clubs, and then we can move forward there. But yeah, I think schools have a very big influence on what kids want to do. So I think another thing I tried in school was badminton. I'd never played it in primary school, got introduced it into high school, and it's something that I enjoy. Not very good at it, but it's something I do just enjoy doing now and again if I have the opportunity. So I think maybe we could have the same influence with basketball if they see, the different skills that they can learn. And it is a completely different sport to netball. There's so many different elements in basketball that you don't see in other sports. So I'm hoping that, schools might be the best way.
Okay, great answer. Sarah, Jeffy, what's your thoughts on girls' development? What do you think?
Do you want to go, Jeffy, or shall I?
I'll answer.
Yeah, I think we have a real big responsibility and a role to play in terms of us as role models. And I didn't really think about it too much when I first started university, but now as I've come through the program and I've seen so many more females play, and some of the game day events and things we've had where you just see how impactful we can be. And I think we do a good job of getting ourselves out there and getting into schools and pushing our social media channels and just connecting with different schools, different events, the Girl Together campaign that Sport Cardiff run. And I think we do need to put our female WBL players, NBL players on a kind of a pedestal. We do need to shout about the fact that we've got a really unique thing here in Cardiff where we're playing in the top league in the country with the only WBL team in Wales. Like, it's real special. And I think the other thing for me, which I love about our club in particular, is that as I think about, I was just trying to count, but we have so many WBL players and NBL players who are coaching in our academy. So they're so close to the players. So yesterday I was coaching and I chatted to one of the players after, and she pulled up something about me playing WBL, and I kind of felt like a bit embarrassed, but I also felt like that's amazing. She's seeing this, like she's made a comment about something she's seen on social media, and it's about me. And I'm thinking, people do see that and do get excited by the fact that we're coaching them. And from our under 8s, through to our learning disability team, our under 18s, like we have WBL international players coaching in our academy, and I think that's really powerful. And the other thing I think about is the younger age groups. So John, I know you're really passionate about mini basketball as well, and I think that's where we need to keep starting. And we've had plenty of conversations that our 16 and 18 age groups now are brilliant. Like, we're so talented with under 16s, under 18s. But what I love the most is that we've got tons of girls playing at under 8s and under 10s, and that's where we need to keep pushing, I think, because we're lucky that the sport sells itself. I think it's an amazing sport, and we don't have to sell basketball. It's indoors, it's so fun. Everyone plays offense, everyone plays defense. We just need to make sure they're playing it like at an early age, get them a basketball in their hands so they choose basketball rather than netball.
Good answer. Jeffy, I know you had a little period of time, and I know Beth has as well, coaching at national team level. What was that like for you? Because that was with under 12 girls. So tell us a little bit about that.
I loved it. It was good because on the back of what you've said then, I think it's just about visibility. So having these kids, but when I was younger, I had no idea how big basketball was. I didn't know about a national league. I didn't know how big it could get. But for now, I think because everything we've got in place, because of the things people have done before us, they can see a pathway. They can see that they can do it too. So having me there, having played for the senior team, it was great for me to be involved with them, because now I've seen, I think that was back in 2013, 14, I think, or even later with when we went to Belfast. But now seeing them come through to the women's program is great. I love having coached them at under 12 and now playing against them. Their journey is just great, and having those opportunities for them at those ages is great to see. And I think we need to do more of that. And it's great. From when I was younger, I think I'm the only person now from my under 16 team that's still playing.
Okay.
But I think that now in this generation is going to be I hope it's going to be completely different, because there's so many and they love the game so much. Yeah. I can't wait to see them still playing in 10, 20 years time.
Yeah, that's quite significant, isn't it? It's important that, you've got it's quite a significant comment there about you're the only one that's still playing. So it's retaining girls and females in the sport, isn't it? And that's tough. Yeah. But yeah, I think we're in a different environment now. Yeah, great. Beth, I know you and I worked together on the Wales under 14 girls in Malta. That was a great trip. Enjoyed working with you. Tell us about your sort of national team coaching experience.
So I think going from a player to coach for Wales has been a big eye-opener. So when I played at junior level under 16s, we only had 10 players and there was nobody else to choose from. Whereas now we're in a situation where we have maybe 24 players, depending on what age group we are. And it's just really nice to see that we're getting more and more girls set in the national team program. And then, like Jeff said, seeing them go from under 12s and work their way up into the senior team is really, really good to see. And that we're slowly building a program for the female side, and it's getting bigger and better every single year.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's definitely going in the right direction, isn't it? And I think I'm going to finish with you on this topic, Sarah, because I know that you're involved now with obviously GB under 18s, so sort of further up the pyramid again. So again, I know you've only been involved in that recently, but tell us a little bit about that and how that's going for you.
Starting, it's new. I've coached at club level, and I've done some stuff with the Welsh national teams. But moving up to the GB level is pretty exciting, and I think it's been really tough. And I think this year especially was a challenge for those girls that have missed out on a European Championship at all, the home nations as well as at GB level. And that for me was really sad, because I know how amazing it is to go away and represent your country and have that outlet during the summer. I'm thinking straight away about the GB team, of course, but I think about how amazing it is that we're getting more Welsh girls seen in that programme, and so many more people are talking about our 16s and our 18s now, because they're a real talented bunch. And each year I feel as though we're increasing the number of girls that are representing at GB level and competing and starting. So I think we're proving that there is something good happening in Wales, and our girls are competitive enough, and I feel as though the number are only going to keep improving and increasing. And I think it really helps that they have the competition during the domestic season to kind of put themselves against the best of their age group. So being in the under 18 Prem is huge, even though at the moment obviously it's not happening, but week in, week out, then they can go against girls that are playing for England and do go on to play for GB. And the next thing I think of is that I've gone off tangent a bit, sorry. But with the Division 1 senior women's team, 50% of that team are under 18s, and that for me is so special, and that's what I love. And I'm excited to be in that situation where I'm coaching a senior women's team, but half of them are under 18s, and I know that they're going to be so competitive. And it's going to be brilliant just to see that this season. I'm really excited for that.
Great, yeah, exciting times. I think we're definitely doing something right, and we're going in the right direction. And all the things you talked about, right from under 12s all the way through to under 18s and seniors, it proves that there's a pathway and there's a development process for female players. So great. I'm really mindful of time. I've got a couple more questions, but so these are going to be really quick fire answers, okay? So you've all played for Wales. Proud moments for you all, despite Sarah being English. I had to get that in, Sarah, I'm sorry. Obviously, you just...
I've nearly been in Wales longer than I've been in England.
Yeah. So,
Getting there.
And that's fine. And we embrace that, and, we welcome that. It's fine. It's not a problem. You've all played for Wales. Just give me quickly round the table your most memorable sort of moment playing for your country and putting on that vest, and how proud you felt. Jeffy?
I think it's got to be my first cap under 16, because not many people know it, but I played with my sister on that team. So we had our first caps together. So that was pretty memorable. That was my first time playing for Wales.
But your mum and dad were proud?
Yeah, they were. My nan came to watch. My parents couldn't, so my nan came over.
Brilliant.
So yeah, it was really good.
Excellent. Beth?
Under 18s medal game winning, being the first youth female team to win a medal.
What colour?
Bronze.
Bronze. Yeah, we'll take that. Excellent. Sarah?
I always think about the national anthem, and embarrassingly, I don't know the words completely, but I think about singing that and how that gets me pumped. And then I do think about the last opportunity we had to represent at FIBA Small Nations, and I made the All-Star 5, which was pretty big for me, and it was completely out of the blue, but that was one of my biggest achievements, I think.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's probably one of my most favourite moments is the anthem, and that spine-tingling moment. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Okay, I could talk to you about that kind of stuff and go into that, but we haven't got time today. So just for NBA, junior NBA sort of development things, we just want to ask you a few questions about that. Again, really quickly, favourite WNBA player? Jeffy?
Sue Bird.
Sue Bird. Beth?
Candice Parker.
Laura? Sarah?
I was about to say Sue Bird, but I can't steal Jeffy's, but I do like Brianna Stewart as well.
Okay, great answers. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap things up. It's been great talking to you today. You've been great, all of you. Thanks for sharing your stories and your experiences. Keep up the good work. Good luck with the season, WBBL and WNBL. Be watching with interest. Keep up the good work, and don't underestimate the power of your influence over young female players. So keep up that good work, and always keep that in mind. So Thank you, guys. Thanks for your time.
Oh, thanks,
and
John.
looking forward to seeing you on the floor sometime soon.